All right, so let's talk about it. CDC stunning new mandates. So, if you don't know, they supposedly extended. I have to look into it. The mask mandates for public transportation, airplanes, trains, buses, whatever. And what Philadelphia right now is trying to do is because their cases, which they got like 170 something cases per day, COVID is trying to put the mask mandates back into effect, which of course we all know is completely idiotic, right? When you look at the data, which of course is still not accurate, it's been fudged and inaccurate since they began. You have to really look where the data comes from, and a lot of people will possibly disagree with what I'm saying, but I feel like, and in some cases know, that a lot of the fudged numbers came from Democratic cities when it came to cases, when it came to deaths with COVID and from COVID, right? And the Republican states, some of the Republican cities, when you look at the numbers, they tend to be more accurate and they tend to contradict what you get in the Democratic cities. This is the information that a lot of people aren't looking at. They have the charts. They put their numbers up there based on cases that they got from hospitals and clinics and urgent cares, whatever. Let me tell you why it makes sense to have money in a time like this. Most of the people who went and got the vaccine, most of the people who had to collect the money, who had to get money from the government, were people who really had no choice. And a lot of this was a test of, do the people have a choice if we take everything away from them? Which is what they did. They took people's businesses, they put them under, they did a lot. A lot of people were scared in the beginning. Even I had my qualms about it, but at the same time, I'm a very skeptical person. So as soon as you tell me something, I go looking for information. I usually find what I need to find, because I'm the type of person, which is a lot of other people also, that look for information on both sides. So I don't only listen to what my skeptical mind thinks. I also go to the other side and see what other people's skeptical mind that is complete opposite of what I think says and thinks and believes. And a lot of times you find the truth in between what you believe and what somebody else believes, especially when it comes to propaganda being fed to you by the government. Another thing is going to other sources. So going to, when you read the news about other countries in our newspapers, is going to be sometimes less propagandist as it is in the actual country that the news is being spoken about, because every country want their people to be prideful in their country, to be down for their country and be patriotic towards their country. Same as the United States. But when you read about the United States and other countries, which is why a lot of other people know a lot more about our country and what's going on in our country than our country knows about our country, because our country, the U.S., wants to tell us what it wants to tell us and wants us to believe what it believes. So in saying that, the mandates, whatever you do with your body is what you do with your body. I have no opinion on that whatsoever. But think about it. Mask is supposed to protect, right? It's supposed to protect. It's supposed to protect you. Vaccine is supposed to protect you. So putting a mandate on everybody for something that you should want to protect if you want to protect yourself, you can protect yourself. To put a mandate on everybody for something like that is completely preposterous. It is stupidity. It is idiotic to the max. Because people didn't want to get the vaccine, they were shunned by the media, by the mainstream media, and other people, your neighbors, people that you know. Everybody's just like, why won't you get it? When you don't trust the government, when you don't trust the media, you really, really get down to the truth, because the government, they say for the people, by the people, but it's not for the people. If it was by the people, the majority of this stuff would not be happening. So you really have to think about it. Like, even I was just telling one of my friends just this past week that, they think that cops are, to protect and serve people, which is not. It's absolutely not. It's to protect and serve property, not to protect and preserve. Protect and to protect people. It's just not. That's just not what it's for. So I had a friend who, was getting into fights with people and then ended up arrested, or got into a fight, or somebody started the fight, and then they end up getting arrested for something that had nothing to do with the fight whatsoever. Which is why I tell everybody, never give your ID to the police, especially, if they can't tell you the crime that you are being held for, you do not give them any type of information whatsoever. They shouldn't know your name, they shouldn't know your address, they shouldn't know anything, because they're in it for the money. The more people they lock up, the more money they get for that specific system. And that's why they know, that's why a lot of black people are, locked. A lot of black population is locked up, because black people, unfortunately, are gullible. When a lot of black people are gullible when it comes to laws, and they almost, they know that black people don't, most black, you see videos where black people school the police on laws and stuff like that, but that's very, very, very few, very, very few. The majority don't know. The majority don't know that if, before you even give the police anything, they have to tell you what they're stopping you for, what they're pulling you over for, and if they don't have a reason, you do not give them any type of information whatsoever. And what I recommend is always call internal affairs. Always make sure that they're on the phone when you get pulled over and it look like some sketchy stuff is going on. Call internal affairs. And that's the ultimate recording, because they're going to have all the information. I mean, even Miami Beach Internal Affairs is a joke at most, which a lot of times you got to go over top of them just to get some actual stuff done. Miami Beach police is very nasty and corrupt also, on top of a lot of other places. They don't want black people really spending money in Miami Beach, especially, what's that dude, Mayor Dan Gilbert, or whatever his stupid name is. The old guy who's over an entertainment district, which makes no sense. But anyway, off topic. The mandates. I've been against them from the beginning, and a lot of people don't have a choice. And I think that was the test, to see what the majority, how they can control the majority. And I believe the test is done. They saw who they can control, how much of the population they control, how much pushback they're going to get from the population when it comes to the U.S. and what they need to push further. A lot of people were telling me, oh, you need to get the vaccine. I'm a big traveler, so people are like, oh, if you just get the vaccine, then you can just travel anywhere you want to go. But no, absolutely not. You don't give in to systems like that, because systems like that, then you give into the tracking system of them wanting to see where you are at all times, to make sure that you're not close to someone else who has had COVID within the last 14 days, which is just stupidity at the highest level, from Biden on down. I say Biden on up, because the people above him definitely pulling strings, and people below. It's just stupidity on all ends. And the fact that judges also get to make decisions based on how they feel. Like, you got to think about it. These are human beings. Even if it was robots and they had a specific set of rules that they had to go by, you get the stupidity. It's still a stupidity of people. Like, how many judges do you think? And I think it was a Florida judge who just struck down the mandate thing for the mask mandate for transportation. It was a Florida federal judge. But think about all the other idiotic judges that we have out here who just believe in totalitarianism, who believe in the law, which is a complete, system that they put you in order for you to, not get ahead, in order for you to not cause any trouble for the system. Because once you put in the system, like, they got you by the balls, basically. That's just what it is. And it's unfortunate that that's what you have to deal with. You basically have to dodge the system until you get rich, until you have a choice. And, a lot of people like, oh, like you don't have kids yet and this and that. And it's like, you want to have the choice. I want to make sure I have the choice to be able to, and my kids have the choice to learn and be free and not be, dampened by the free schooling. Because you think about it, free. Everybody say, oh, this is free. Remember Facebook? Facebook is free forever. Remember when they used to post that? The Facebook is free. Facebook is free forever. Facebook is always going to be free. What did they do? Yeah, it's free. But what did you give up? All your data is connected to everything. And what do? They sell your data to companies so they can run ads to you, and they sell your information all over the place, all over the world. When you go to different countries, certain countries, you still get the ads from Facebook. Of course, they're embedded in the world, Facebook is. But nothing is for free. So when you think about it, I was like, yo, ain't school free? And you know what it is? It's indoctrination. I can't say the word. Indoctrination into the society of being a worker bee or a criminal. It puts you in a situation. It puts your kids, by going to free school, I'm talking, preschool, kindergarten, it indoctrinates your kids into society. And the influences that they get there is what's going to make them who they are in the world, which means which system can we put this kid into that's going to make us some money, okay? And sometimes that system is the jail system. How can we keep the jail system going? Oh, this person's going to be going to these schools, which, 90% of the kids come out of this school and do drugs, and 80% of these kids end up locked up, which means, we're going to have this much money flowing into the jail system. A lot of people don't think about that when they come to their kids, okay? Preschool, kindergarten, first through eighth, high school, this stuff is not free. It's indoctrination of where we're going to place your kids in society. That's what it is. Do I want my kids, like private schools, are the ones that people pay $50,000 a year for? You want to check those schools also, but you want to make sure your kid is learning what they are supposed, what you want them to learn. You don't want them learning about, transgender and, they're putting these ideas on these kids and teaching them about sex and sexuality and all of this stuff when in like third grade. When in third grade, teaching about racism and stuff, like, I don't know nothing about that. You don't see no little white kids about, so look at the little black kid over there. Like, you don't see that stuff in third grade unless it's been put on them, like unless it's been embedded inside of them by their family, and now the schools are doing it. So schools are not places they're not learning institutes anymore. They're indoctrination facilities for where your kid will be placed in society for the remainder of their life. So they're basically just molding them into what they want them to be, and that's just what it is. That's how they operate. That's what they're gonna do. And it's sad. I do not want, when I have kids, I don't want them going to a free school. It's not free. They're making money off those kids. I'm going to do a separate video on that because a lot of people don't think about that, but I hope this video reaches a lot of people. I'm going to put it on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, everywhere. Free is not free. Okay? The mask mandates are bullcrap. Any type of mandate they thought about was bullcrap. Tracking systems, bullcrap. Everything is bullcrap. And getting outside the propaganda is unfortunate because so many people are in the system, and a lot of times you can't change their mind. They've been in the system since preschool. It starts in school, and this is where they are, and this is why people don't look up information, and why they just trust anything that anybody says. Never trust anything anybody says. Don't even trust what I say. Do research. Anything that I've said, go look at the side that agree with me, go look at the side who disagree with me, and then make your own educated decision on if what I'm saying makes sense or if what anybody else says is making sense. Look at Russell Brand, look at his channel. Look at Joe Rogan, look at his channel. And they have people on both ends talking about why masks are good, why masks are bad, why vaccines are good, why vaccines are bad. Look at all of that stuff. Look at the CDC, look at the corruption that's been there. Look at the FDA, look at the corruption that's been there. Look at the good things that they've done also, but you want to make sure that if a company is being sued for billions and billions of dollars, Johnson & Johnson, that anything that they make and they say is good for you, even though they said stuff was good for you and it wasn't, you want to make sure you look into that. That can be really bad for your kids, for your health, and don't get me started on the medical. Don't get me started on hospitals. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, look into what I said, and I'm gonna do another video very shortly on how free isn't free when it comes to schools. You'll see what I mean. I got a little bit more research to do to put a little bit more content in there for everybody to see, but you'll understand exactly what I mean when you see the information on schools and how they get paid, of course, by the government. Government pays the schools depending on test scores depending on how well the people swallow down the propaganda, how well the kids can absorb their propaganda. So all right, let me not get into this because my brain's starting to twist again, and it's starting to it's gonna too much truth to be told out here in this video. I know people got a short attention span. So in the next video.